Question number 2 this week comes from Donald Price. And Donald says, "Hello, my friend. Hoping to get a question answered on your podcast." Well, here you go, brother. We'll get it on there for you. Why haven't we seen more R2-D2? He was one of my favorite parts of the classics and prequels, but he's barely been in the sequels at all. Thank you for the question, Donald. And this is something that I hate about the sequel trilogy. Don't get me wrong. Like I really like the sequel trilogy, and I catch a lot of shit for that. But this is one thing that is unforgivable, in my opinion. Unforgivable. And and right now I blame both JJ and Rian Johnson. I blame both of them for this. Because between episodes 7 and 8, R2's had what? 4 minutes of screen time? Are you shitting me? 4 minutes. And when I think of the classics, when I think of classic trilogy, the first scene that pops into my mind when I'm watching Star Wars, and when I get that nostalgia feeling back to if something feels classic, what I compare it to is, and maybe you're different, but this is just for me, the scene I compare it to in the classic trilogy is Empire Strikes Back, when Leia, Lando, Chewie, 3PO, and R2 are trying to escape Cloud City, and all the stormtroopers are chasing them, between the music and the cinematography and what's going on, and you know, them trying to get to the Falcon, R2 shooting his fog cloud, his smoke screen at the stormtroopers and buzzing out of there. To me, when they're going through the hallways and you see all the sunset behind it, to me that's classic trilogy. To me, that's what I think of when I think classic trilogy. That whole sequence. And R2 was pivotal in that sequence. R2 was pivotal throughout the entire classic trilogy. Pivotal. And I mean, through the entire saga, you know? I mean, we didn't see a whole lot of him in episode 3. Kind of at the beginning, but we didn't see a lot of him in episode 3. He was there quite a bit in episodes 1 and 2, but 3, not a whole lot. 4, 5, 6, a lot. 7, for 30 seconds at the end, and then 8, we had one scene with Luke on the Falcon. And then later, when they're on Crate flying the Falcon, he's looking for the beacon for Rey. That's it. That's the only time we've seen R2. And it's unforgivable. It's an insult to the character, to be completely honest. R2 is one of my favorite Star Wars characters, and he's not even alive. Matter of fact, my first action figure I ever got was an R2-D2. And I love the character. He's, you know, you're talking about a droid that has never had its memory wiped and kept one of the biggest secrets in the galaxy. How long? 50 years? I mean, you've got a droid that's one of the most loyal droids you've ever seen. You can't, I mean, and it's a shame we haven't seen more of them. I will go as far as to say this. I do believe that JJ is going to utilize R2 more. I think he's going to utilize R2 and 3PO more in episode 9. And there's not a whole lot to back that up, but I did see, and this may be nothing at all. This is just maybe wishful thinking. But Bandai put out one of their X-Wing models for Rise of Skywalker, and it's Poe Dameron's X-Wing, but it doesn't have BB-8 on it. It has R2-D2 on it. So if I'm about to see Poe flying an X-Wing with R2 in a droid socket again, I'm going to lose my mind seeing R2 in a droid socket. I'm going to lose my mind. But I gotta say this. I think the reason we haven't seen much R2 is because they're trying to push BB-8 to be the new droid of this trilogy. Which I can't really knock them for that. You'd have to introduce these new characters, and it's really their story. But you've got 3PO there. 3PO was a little bit bigger part of episode 8. Why couldn't R2 have been? You know what I mean? Like, it doesn't make a lot of sense to me why R2 couldn't have been more in episode 8. And like I said, I'm hoping he's in episode 9 more. But I think it's mainly because they're trying to push BB-8. BB-8 and 3PO. Because a lot of the marketing for The Force Awakens had those 3 droids on it. But then throughout the movie, BB-8 was front and center. BB-8 had the comedy relief. BB-8 even got to say, I have a bad feeling about this in episode 8, which we talked about on one of the last episodes. I think they're pushing this droid more and more. Because Ryan Johnson even came out and said at a point before Episode 8 came out, he asked JJ for some advice. I think it was JJ asked for some advice on editing Episode 7 or Episode 8. And he said, use physical comedy with BB-8. You can't put enough of it in there. And so they did that, with BB-8 getting blown against the wall and his head bouncing and rolling back. There's a lot you can do with BB-8 because of his shape, because of what he is. Not a whole lot you can do with R2. R2 can get shot once in a while, electrocuted, everything pop open on him. Stuff like that. But you want to see more R2. If Episode 9 comes out and we see more R2 and 3PO front and center, it's going to feel more like Star Wars. They are the glue that holds Star Wars together. The only Star Wars movie they're not in, and they didn't need to be in, was Solo. They even popped up in Rogue One, and it made sense, kind of, if you want to do the whole why weren't they on the Tantive 4 argument, which is possible. It has credence. But R2 and 3PO, they are, to me, the face of Star Wars. When you see R2 and 3PO, the first thing you think of is Star Wars. When I think Star Wars, first thing I think of, R2 and 3PO. So why aren't we seeing more R2? It's a great question, man, and I'm hoping they show some more of him in Episode 9. And I'm hoping he's more pivotal to the role or to the plot. Please, God, put R2 in it. Give him his due, man. Just don't kill him off. Don't kill him or 3PO off. Please, God, no, you can't do that. No, I can't. I already had to watch Tony Stark die. I can't watch R2 and 3PO die. I can't do it. Thanks for the question, Donald. I appreciate it.